Okay, welcome everyone. I am so excited. My very last AACG meetup that I am hosting, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful time for me. It's really allowed me to meet people that I would not normally have met, and today's presenter is no exception. Meredith Edmondson, I am so impressed with, and she is an artist who lives in Nashville and is the recipient of an AACG grant for an exhibit, her CHROMA exhibit, which she is going to share with us today. So I was so excited when I saw what she has done with this that you should be very proud that your AACG funds are going to an artist the likes of Meredith Edmondson with her exhibit in Nashville at the Fort Houston Gallery. So Meredith, do you want to take it away for us?
Sure. So hello, everyone. I'm so excited to finally be able to have this gallery exhibit open despite all the craziness that has happened this year. We were supposed to open in April and everything just kept getting pushed back, but we finally made it happen and it's been so nice. Nashville is a little bit of a glass desert. We don't have a ton of three-dimensional art being shown here, especially not glass. So that was really the desire to start having this annual exhibition. We did our first one last year in 2019 and then applied for the AACG funding to be able to do it bigger and better this year. So I'm gonna take a little time and share with you kind of where we are in Nashville and tell you a little bit about Fort Houston, which is the makerspace in which our gallery is included in. So I am going to start with our slideshow. Let's see, share computer sound. And everybody see that? We all good?
Yes, we are good to go.
All right. Okay, so the space in which we're located is called Fort Houston. So Fort Houston was started in 2012 as a community makerspace. We are in our second studio right now. This is a picture from our first. We are getting ready to move into a 23,000 square foot building and be able to expand our gallery and our offerings. So this is the wood shop that was in our original building. Fort Houston acts as not only a makerspace, but as a creative small business incubator, sharing tools and resources and business education for artists on how to grow and get their products from their ideas into their hands and then into the market. We have a wood shop, a metal shop, and a screen printing studio. About 3 years ago, we moved into this beautiful building, which is where we are right now. We are in the heart of downtown. I have a little video that I'm going to show you in a minute, which will give you a little bit more of a perspective as to where we are if you've ever been to Nashville. In January of 2018, the Fort Houston Artisan Support Project was founded as a means to grow our fundraising potential through a nonprofit status. Through that, it's one of my favorite shots of our space. I love all the windows and the light. We have everyone from woodworkers to metalworkers to myself with my kiln. We have some sculptors, wood sculptors, and then a bronze caster that works out of here. Jet Tools is one of our biggest partners. I'm going to talk a little bit about our partners and our sponsorships. Jet's headquarters, JPW Industries, is located about 40 minutes from us. They have donated over $250,000 worth of professional tools and equipment to our space, and we'll be donating, I think, about another 100,000 more when we move. Our gallery has just started a new partnership with the Tennessee Titans Foundation. They are going to be sponsoring our new gallery, which will provide studio spaces for 6 artists for free for 1 month each. So we'll be doing micro residencies with that. I've been pushing for them to put in lots of power, so hopefully we can expand into a ceramics and kiln fusing space so I can start making some bigger work and doing some more teaching. And then Pinnacle Bank is another one of our major sponsors. They also do scholarship sponsorship and are really just always there for us when we need them. Through our community outreach, all of these images are pre-COVID, so there are no masks. All of our outreach currently includes working with the Girl Scouts, building free little libraries for the community. For the past, I don't know, 5 years, we've hosted the Boy Scouts in their Pine Box Derby car building. We work with other maker groups. This is a partnership with Wolverine, and they focus on teaching women trade skills. This was benches and a picnic table that were built for a nonprofit community garden here in town. We also have served as a music venue, providing space for up and coming artists and fundraising events for other organizations. Our gallery space, this is your first little glimpse into it. Being a nonprofit gallery, we really try and focus on new, upcoming, and underrepresented artists, giving them the space to potentially show their work for the first time. We also hosted Nashville's first Creative Mornings event. If you're not familiar with Creative Mornings, it started in New York, I believe in 2008. And it is a monthly meetup that happens now internationally. Every city has a chapter, and each chapter shares on the same theme globally, but they pick people from within their community that they feel embodies whatever the theme is that month. They've also gone digital, so you can still join their meetups. They're really, really fun. We also host Fort Fridays for our members, usually when it's not Corona times, and we cook out and drink some beer and hang out and really foster the community within our own building. This is the short little video I'm going to play for you all. I believe the sound should work, but you can see kind of in the background, there's Nashville. This video was a product of a design conference that we hosted here with the JIEUN. They held their 2019 International Design Conference with us. Our gallery space also serves as a co-working space and an event space, which is really interesting. It allows a lot of different viewers to see the work that might not normally come to a gallery. So let me play this video for you all. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the space where we are. I'm going to move into talking a little bit more about CHROMA and the pieces and the why. Does anybody have any questions about Fort Houston or the space here that I can answer? No? All right. So CHROMA was born from a desire for myself and Jennifer Cresciullo, my co-curator, to figure out how to see a little bit more of glass and see the kind of art that we were interested in. Nashville is very two-dimensional. There aren't a lot of community studio spaces. We have a lot of painting, a lot of printmaking, and a lot of photography. So in the winter of 2018, we decided we wanted to host a gallery show. And me being the events coordinator at Fort Houston, I knew that we would be able to find a month in the gallery. We decided to do it in April. For those of you who may not know, the last Saturday of April is International Sculpture Day. So that was actually the day, we have a Chihuly show here at our botanical garden right now. That was actually the day that was supposed to open. And so we did it then, and we just sat down and sort of made a list of kind of our dream show, people who make really colorful work, very different work, very diverse work, and sent out a first round invite list. And we're so thrilled when everyone on our first list said yes. I have some images at the end if anybody's interested in seeing the artists from the 2019 show, or we have a catalog for sale that I have compiled that features both the 2019 and 2020 artists, and I will make sure that a link is available for everyone. It is a $25 catalog, and $5 of every purchase will be going to Give to Glass, which is a impact group for some of the major glass nonprofits organizations around the country. So with the really great reception that we got from the 2019 show, we decided that we wanted to do it again. We spent a lot of time looking up and finding interior designers and other artists in town to make sure that we could schedule meetings and times with them and really just get this work in front of as many people as possible. So when 2020 came around, I had found the AACG grant application. We actually found it about 2 weeks too late for the 2019 show. And I was so thrilled I guess it was in January when I received the notice that we had been approved. So in 2020, instead of doing an invite list, we decided to do an open call and to expand our knowledge of the people that were out there making glass and really looking at, I think we had probably about 65 applicants and narrowed it down to about 30. A lot of it was space and installation constrained, so we were able to take on about as many people as we possibly could. So I am going to start rolling through some of the images, or all of the images of the artists who were selected in this exhibition. So, but first, our generous sponsors, the Art Alliance for Contemporary Glass. Art Up Nashville is our one of our local art installation companies. They have generously donated many of our pedestals, and then Bullseye, Gaffer, the Glass Art Society, and His Glass. This is a culmination of both years of sponsorship. So we're super lucky to have such great support from the glass community. This was the postcard for our event. This is David King's 12 Bottles piece. I have another slide of that later, so we'll talk about that work a little bit later on. So up first, we have Ali Feeney. This piece is titled Ephemera, and it is a digital print of a photograph. So Ali is a neon artist. She is living in Brooklyn now. I think she is trying to finish up her MFA from UT Arlington. And then her and her partner, James Akers, have started a neon company. James has a piece in our show as well that we will get to. And then this is a piece from Benjamin Wright, the artistic director of Pilchuck. It is an immersive digital and audio installation. We unfortunately do not have this piece in the physical show. There were 4 pieces that were selected that were unable to be a part of the exhibition due to either life constraints or when COVID happened, I was very encouraging to all the artists to sell their work if possible, and we would make other arrangements for pieces to be shipped. So Ben's piece was too delicate and too tedious of an installation to join us, but it was selected in our show. This is Betty Turner. She is a local fuser. She owns a glass fusing shop here in town, teaches excellent classes. We were supposed to have a class with Alicia Lomney this year that I was very, very excited about. And unfortunately, hopefully we'll have it next year. The size on this piece is 5 by 12 inches and about a ½ an inch thick. This piece had sold, so when we go through a tour of the gallery, you will notice that there is still another glass thong, but it is pink. This is Bill SIEBER. He's an artist out of Carbondale, Illinois, receiving his MFA in glass sculpture. It is a very large cast piece, and it is sitting at about 21 inches by 4 by 9. I was really thrilled that CARRIE GUSTAFSON had applied to be a part of our show. We have 2 of her pieces. We have one of the thistle bottles. It's the top left bottle. And then we have one of the pebbles, which is the bottom left in the foreground, the red. CARRIE is in Cambridge, Massachusetts. This is Dan Mirer's work, which is probably one of my favorite pieces of the show. It is 8.5 by 11, size of a sheet of paper. It is a panel that was blown and rolled in the hot shop and then cut and ladled over. When we get close to that piece, I'll show you the detail from the side. All of the silver foil bubbles have texture from where the kiln or from where the cast glass caused a reaction. Here's David King's piece. The entire piece ranges from, it's 40 by 9 by 26. So at the tallest, the red bottle is 26 inches. This is DAVIN EBANKS. He is the head of the Kent State glass program. He is a Caymanian artist from the Cayman Islands. So a lot of his artwork focuses on drawing inspiration from home. These are inspired by coral reefs. We have the top 2 pieces of this. If you can see on your screen, the pieces are all colored on the back and have the white on the front that got sandblasted through. So there's like a very faint shadow of color that lies behind each one of them that is just so lovely. And they are 12 by 12 each. This is Brooklyn artist DORIE GUTHRIE. She is a bullseye artist as well. This piece is a reverse imagery painted with enamels and pâte de verre and sits about 11.5 inches by 11.5 inches. This is artist Hannah LaRue. She is an emerging artist. She just participated in a residency at STAR right before COVID happened. She is a recent graduate from the Appalachian Center for Craft. Another one of the goals of CHROMA was to not only include established artists, but to give new glass artists a platform. So there will be a few artists that I go through and kind of let you know who they are and where they're from. Here's James Akers' piece. It is a neon tumbleweed. It is so cool and so fun. I love having the neon here, especially at night. It makes the gallery glow in such a fun way. This is about 10 by 10 by 12. And like I said earlier, James and Ali, the first artists, have a new neon shop in Brooklyn. Something we wanted to do this year was include a little bit more of the functional glass. Jeff Ballard's glass is something that I really, really love his sensibility. He has a background in blown glass as opposed to borosilicate. So this piece has a reverse axis and cold worked, and the colors are just so lovely. And it's just such a nice and interesting addition to the show. We actually selected 2 pieces of his. And the upside down ice cream cone would be the other one. It's this beautiful, the picture doesn't do the color justice. It's this beautiful purpley, blue, green, just swirl, pun intended, of color. I just really love it so much. Jennifer Hand is an artist. This is a video piece of hers. She, I think, was set to present at the GAS conference this year, giving a talk on women and motherhood and being a female artist and a mother. So I'm gonna play this video for you guys. Where's the little play button? Oh, where did that go? Let's see. There we go. So we're gonna pick back up where we left off. So if you guys notice, everything that she has made, or everything she's using made, these stained glass weights. The weights on the end of the bars, those are all half glass. The dumbbells that she uses will be either gold blown, gold with clear and pink acrylic paint. So video installation was something that was really new to us this year and exciting and challenging to make sure that it all worked and played on a loop. And it was a definite welcome addition to the show from what we did last year. I do not want to watch that again. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so this is also an emerging artist, JIEUN. These are a series of Polaroids that were then cast, frit and cast into a mold. We have 8 of them on display. They are displayed with very tiny borosilicate glass hangers. And at the bottom of each one, they are dated and have the location of where the photo was taken. This is Jill BITTNER. She is an artist who has recently graduated from the Appalachian Center for Craft. She was participating in, I think she was on the Hollywood Hot Glass Cruise Line up until March, and is now working out of a studio in New Jersey. This piece is about, I think it's about 10 inches tall. Let me double check. It's 12 inches tall, just for some scale. This is Joe Grant. Joe is the director of the glass program at Starworks in North Carolina. This particular piece is one that we do not actually have currently in the gallery. He sent us another piece. This was supposed to be hand delivered as he was concerned about shipping. And with all of the COVID constraints and rescheduling, we were unable to receive this specific piece. Another functional piece, this is a new up and coming artist, John Evans. I just really fell in love with his use of color. And I believe this is the only, I'm looking around, I believe this is the only borosilicate or flame worked piece in our show. Robin and Julia Rogers. This piece has definitely been one of the showstoppers. We have given it the Viewer's Choice Award as this has just been the one that I have heard the most wows from. With our space, like I said, also being a co-working space, I will come and sit in here and do computer work and whatever I need to, and just sort of sit around and observe people observing the art, which has been really lovely. And this piece has definitely been a showstopper, and I will make sure when we do a little gallery tour, there are just some fascinating details on it that I'll make sure that you guys all get a chance to see. Kim Sharp, this piece was awarded the Juror's Choice. So in addition to asking for or doing an open call for artists this year, we brought in a guest juror. At the time pre-COVID, Pam was she was the museum manager for our 21C museum and hotel here in town. So she was an excellent choice, and she had a small background in glass when she was in college. So she knew a little bit about it. And I got a little statement from her this morning as to why she chose this piece. Pam says, Kim's work was a standout for me, both visually and conceptually. Visually, I kept reminding myself that it was glass work because of the texture. It looks so soft and it almost felt like. Conceptually, I love work that explores societal roles women play, here playing between the role of mother and daughter in collaborative work with her own daughter. We have 3 of these clipboard pieces. You can kind of see them behind me. I'll get you guys a more detailed view. But she takes her daughter Aster's drawings and burns screens with the imagery, and then powder prints them onto pre-fired powder printed pieces of paper, and then they get laminated to the clipboards. I was kind of terrified until I realized they are actually physically glued to the clipboards, and I don't have to worry about the clipboards dropping this glass. So that was a nice relief. Kimberly McInnes is an artist out of Norfolk, Virginia. She's participated in the Chrysler residency program and also has a retail shop in the MacArthur Center called For All Mankind. And for those of you who may have attended the GAS conference in Norfolk in 2017, she curated the show that was at the gallery, the Origins Gallery that was in the mall, strangely enough. I had never seen an art gallery in a mall before. I also had pieces in that show. This is KT Hancock. KT is an artist out of Seattle. She is also a welder, fabricator, and neon electrician. She works for Spiral Arts. So she also helps make our wonderful glass blowing tools. But she makes these really beautiful, really vibrant diamonds blowing into cages. I believe this piece came from a residency at Tacoma. And as I was telling Marilee, all these artists in Washington are so lucky to have Russell Johnson photo all their work. They just look so beautiful. This is my piece that I have in the show. Jenny and I decided to do curator's cups. So Jenny also has a series of 3 cups. These are kiln cast macaroon cookies. I'll show you a little bit more of my work that involves that later. Attached in the hot shop with John Watson, who at the time was the artist in residence at the Appalachian Center for Craft. These pieces are equally special. The glass that I use to make the macaroons, typically I work in Bullseye, and Bullseye is not really compatible with the System 96 that we were blowing. So we were getting ready to tear the furnace down, and Kurt Brock, the head of the program, allowed us to throw some oxides into the furnace and play with the colors. And so these cookies were cast with that really special, one of a kind, God knows what you call this blue color. So it was super fun and a really nice collaboration. This is metal artist and glass artist Nick IREYS. Nick is traditionally a blacksmith. He just received his MFA from Carbondale, which I believe is the only Masters of Fine Art and Blacksmithing program in the country. While at Carbondale, Nick took the opportunity to take some glass blowing classes and started building these really elaborate forms to also blow into. This being one of them. And then the pieces were, the glass piece was mirrorized once it came out of the annealer. This is Rachel BARTEK. She is a recent graduate from the Appalachian Center for Craft as well. I believe this piece was made in a workshop at the Pittsburgh Glass Center. I think it's the only plasma piece we've had in our 2 shows. This is a transmission of light photograph from Sarah Vaughan. The photograph itself hangs, it's 9 inches wide by 40 inches tall. This is another one of my favorite pieces from the show, Suzanne Peck. It is called Proud and Shy, and it is comprised of 4 panels made from blown glass that was then cut and rolled flat. So there's lots of frit texture in it, and it spans 40 inches by, I think it's 12 inches tall. No, it's 40 by 20, excuse me. This is TALI GRINSHPAN. I have been in love with Tali's work for a very, very long time and was very honored when she applied for the show. It is Pat de Verre fused glass made with Bullseye with the gold accents on the end. It stands, let's see, where's Tali's? I think it's about 14 inches tall. I don't see it on my little list, but we'll see it when we go through. It's 8 inches tall and 3.5 inches wide, and it's just so beautiful and so delicate. This is Tammy O'Connor. This is the only stained glass piece that we have in our show. I really love the illustrative quality of the flowers and just the beautiful way that she displays it. She has these stands custom made for it, and the glass piece itself is almost 22 inches tall. Zach Weinberg is a conceptual artist out of Ohio. Unfortunately, this piece did not make it into our final exhibition. Zach and his partner, Joanna Manusis, are currently on their way to move back to the UK. I think today, either today or this week. So Zach was unable to participate in our show, but we really wanted to make sure that in the slideshow and also in the catalog that we really represented all the artists that were initially chosen, even if they were unable to be a part of our show in person. There's Jenny and I quickly unmasked at our opening. That's our title wall with our sponsors from this year. It was a really nice, very quality over quantity volume in our reception. We staggered it. We had no more than 15 people in the gallery at the time and scheduled it so that the opening was right before Thanksgiving because we had a sneaky suspicion that with all the holiday travel, things were going to get better rather than, or get worse rather than better. So we went ahead and made sure that we got it in before that happened. So that really concludes all of the participants for and the images for the artists in the 2020 show. Does anybody have any questions about the work?
Could I interject for just 1 minute? I did want to mention that both Ali Feeney and YOON, I don't know if that's how you pronounced her name, both of those artists did receive AACG scholarships, and I just wanted to note that.
That's awesome. I did not know that. Thank you. So while I have such a lovely and captive audience, I'm going to take a few minutes and kind of talk about my own artistic practice and what I make and what I do and how I do it. So one of the things that I really got into as soon as I graduated college was working with interior designers. In a city that doesn't have a lot of glass knowledge, it is both a blessing and a curse. It's really nice to be able to educate people as to the glass blowing process, but it's also difficult because it is a very hard thing for people to really wrap their minds around. So what I kind of found that worked was with designers, I would get them to give me floor samples and wall samples and fabric samples. And I would call the amazing ladies at Gaffer and we would sort through all of that and pick out colors for pieces that really would stand out and match their interior. The first 3 pieces I'm going to show you are at a law office that had just recently opened called Neal and Harwell in downtown Nashville. I learned pretty early on with my photography, one of my good friends is a real estate photographer, and they have the good lenses and the good eyes for really capturing the pictures in their spaces. For my senior thesis, when I was graduating from the Appalachian Center for Craft, I was doing a lot of these glass weavings. This piece was, well, this law office ended up purchasing, I think, 12 pieces from me, which has been my largest acquisition through a gallery here in town that I have a very close relationship with. They've been so supportive of me throughout my entire career. So these pieces were acquired for another law office in town. This is one of their major conference rooms. I show this piece because they really wanted the art to wrap around the building. So the painting on the right side had already been purchased. So I took that painting and pulled the colors out and made these vases. I think the green one on the end sits about 21 inches tall. So they were rather large. I think there was a team of 3 of us working to make these. There's another one of my favorite shots from that same office. A program that I got involved in with our Arts and Business Council here in town is called Work Creative. I don't believe that program is in existence anymore, but what their goal was to take businesses in Nashville and partner them with artists to create one-of-a-kind pieces for their offices and branches, specifically with Pinnacle Bank. With this piece in particular, the panels, so blue and white were their main colors, and then the blue and the orange and the green represented Nashville, Knoxville, and Chattanooga. So I went into those different cities and worked with people in those branches to create pieces that then hung in the main bank branch here in town, which was awesome to be able to get people, even on just a very small scale, to get their hands on glass and get excited about it. At the end of 2016, we lost our glass studio space, and I was really our blowing studio, and was really trying to figure out how to continue to make work. So I was fortunate enough to be awarded a fellowship to the Touchstone Center for Crafts in Farmington, Pennsylvania, where I was able to take a kiln casting class with Anna Booth and started making these glass clothespins. I wasn't really sure what to do with them as objects once they were finished. So we strung them on jewelry. They're very fun to make, and they're also functional. So you can give them a little pinch and they will open. That was the initial color palette. Everything's cast with bullseye. I really love the diversity in their colors and the ability to enhance or dilute a color based on whatever your preference is. After I started making the clothespins, I moved into these cast glass macaron cookies. The two halves are cast, and then I take an epoxy or a silicone that I tint white and pipe it through a little pastry bag in between each one of them and give them a little smash. So they really come out looking like the actual cookies. There's another way that I displayed them. And then about 8 months before the Bullseye Gallery closed, they had picked them up and were selling them as necklaces. So really pretty little pendants. The bottom right corner is their just gorgeous neo lavender color that'll shift and change from that vibrant purple to a periwinkle blue, depending on the type of light you're in. And then I had some hanging around last year, so we threw them on a Christmas tree in the gallery at the studio and used them as little ornaments. So I've been selling them this year as they can be an ornament for 1 month and a necklace for the other 11 months of the year. And then there's all my contact information, my email and my website and my Instagram. Let's see, stop. There we go. So that concludes the formal visual part of the presentation. If anybody has any other questions, I would be happy to chat with you all.
Meredith, are you going to take us on a little walk through the gallery?
Yes. All right, I'm going to mute me on this one. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, good. Fabulous.
All right. So I'm going to climb these steps really quickly. I'm going to close you guys off so you don't get Jeremiah. All right. So this is what the gallery looks like when you are coming in the front door. Like I said, it's a co-working space. We've got people wandering around. So title wall. Behind each one of those doors is a small office. We have everything from our city councilman to a small record label to independent artists and designers that all work out of and share this space. I love this because, you know, without having a major glass community here, I'm gonna cover you guys up again while I go down the steps. I just really love the collaborative nature of what happens in this space, and it reminds me so much of what goes on within the glass community. So, title wall. Practicing my slow walk.
You're doing good. And don't forget to tell us about how to purchase the catalog, because that was one of Sharon Carmazan's ideas, which I thought was great.
Yes, so the catalog is available. What we decided to do, flip you around so I can talk to you. What we decided to do this year instead of printing actual catalogs was to use a print service called Lulu. So the books are printed on demand and we're not stuck with any sort of backstock or having to deal with shipping right now. So we will make sure that you guys have the link to purchase the catalog and yeah, they will, I guess I purchased mine on Sunday and I just got the notification today that it has been printed and shipped. And I don't have to do anything. It's so great. I think we've sold, I don't know, probably 20 catalogs so far and I don't have to mail anything. It's so, so awesome. All right, so flipping you guys back around. So the show is kind of laid out in a color grouping. This is our more pastel wall, as you guys can see. So we've got the Ali Feeney photograph, as well as the pink thong. The two Jessie Moore, Pat DeVere pieces with the lovely, lovely texture. I don't know if you guys can pick up on that. And then the rainbow pieces by Kim McInnes. And then we're gonna move, oops, slow walk. This is our more neutral colors. Here's the Suzanne Peck piece. And then we have Dorie Guthrie's piece.
I love that one.
Yeah, her work is just so fantastic. This was the piece we ended up getting from Joe Grant with all of these really cool fins. I'm gonna step back so you all can see the stained glass piece and the stand, the beautiful stand. And then the shadow behind it, I also love. It just picks up all the colors so very nicely. Then we move over here to that awesome piece from Dan MIRER. And I'm gonna go give you guys a little bit of a side view of it so you can see that texture that I was talking about. You know, it's, the piece isn't flat. All these little silver bubbles have a tiny bit of, let's see, there we go, texture to it. Onto Robin and Julia's piece. So it looks like it's been a blown and hot sculpted piece. They sliced the face off, and one of my favorite little details on the back is this beautiful, non-functional but patinaed hinge that holds the parts together. And we'll move into the two pieces from DAVIN EBANKS. The coral pieces, that's the one with the blue background, and then the one with the green sheet glass behind it. The pieces from CARRIE GUSTAFSON. All that, look at that texture. It's just so, so awesome. We have Jen's video. And below that, we have the kiln cast piece by Bill SIEBER. And the pieces by John Evans and Jeff Ballard.
We just lost you for some reason.
Am I there now?
Now, here you're back. Thank you.
Okay. All right. We'll go back to that piece. The milkshake.
That's a really nicely done piece.
I don't, did I fade out again?
No, you're here. We just had somebody make a comment.
Oh, okay. It's so nice and it's so whimsical and it's so fun. Her senior thesis show was one of the most delightful shows that I've ever seen. It was called Tale of Whale, about a whale who is a mailman who delivers messages in a bottle that he finds in the ocean. It was so lovely. Here's Tali's piece.
That looks so delicate.
That piece and the Kit Paulson piece that I had last year were the two most terrifying pieces to unpack. The images of the photographs, the Polaroids. And then we'll see how this neon behaves. It's been behaving very, very strangely on some videos. It's doing good. It was like doing this like weird color wave on some videos. So, and then partnered that with the Sarah Vaughan photograph. Then our resident indie record label is in there. And then we are coming up on Kim Sharp's pieces. So these are the powder printed sheets of paper with the screen printed imagery of her daughters on it. And then Hannah LaRue's piece. David King's bottles.
What is in those bottles?
It is found plastic.
Plastic.
Yes, ma'am. So David does a lot of work on the environment and found objects. So if you can see in this one, there's Gatorade bottle tops in there, and I think there are milk bottle tops in there, and plastic tabs, all found objects. And then we're coming to the end, which are mine and Jenny's curator cups. So the macaroon goblets and Jenny's vitrolite carved bases on blown glass tops.
You showed us something that was like a lava lamp. It had some kind of flow to it.
Oh, the plasma piece. Rachel unfortunately had to remove that piece from the exhibition early to get it somewhere else.
Oh, okay. How does that work? Is that neon, or what does that mean?
So
Plasma?
it's been injected with like a plasma gas, and then it has a steel wool conductor that an electrode goes into. And so it's like the glass that when you touch it, it kind of flows to your fingers.
Does it change color?
No, it does not change color.
Thank you.
Any other questions from anybody? Anybody want to say anything? This has been wonderful, Meredith. I want to thank you. It's a wonderful exhibit, and I certainly appreciate all that you do to keep glass going and showcase art there in Nashville. So
I want to say something. I really do want to thank you. Here you are, kind of in an outpost, trying to bring a difficult art form to your community. I think you're doing a beautiful job.
Thank you.
Continue.